Εγγραφή τώρα. Και μετά το κλείνω.
Just because we're not going to wait for the participants, and they're sleeping in their rooms, and it's a long trip, so we want to make sure that we start on time, so we finish on time. Now, good morning. My name is Gregory Papanikos. I'm the president of this World Association of Academics and Researchers. I'm going to explain a little bit about our philosophy, what we are doing here. And then our Vice President, Professor Poulos, he will present the Athens Institute in a more structured way. Now, our association was founded, was conceived, if you want, 30 years ago. It was founded 20 years ago. And the idea is very simple. We want to revive a dream that Pericles had 2,500 years ago, to make Athens a place where people from all over the world can come, what he called learn and see. Now the way that we organize it, believe it or not, is to create small groups of academics. So we never organize big conferences. Actually, there are logistics problems. But we organize small and parallel conferences. You will see other people moving around, and there are people doing other disciplines. So our idea is to have, and we have it on our policy, to have a small group of people, like 25, 30 people, and within a general defined theme, like yours, and then coming from different countries, and being here for 1 day and a half, and exchange ideas. So that's our mission. So if you don't like our mission, you should not be here. But we are not going to change, as you know, in any organization, we do not change missions, but of course we can change strategy. The institute is organized. Why do we call it an institute? This is a very interesting thing, and not an association. When we first founded it, in Canada actually, not in Greece, the idea was to give an opportunity to academics that they want to have an affiliation in Greece so they can apply for projects to do so. Because if you are calling yourself an association, especially the EU, the European Union, doesn't give you any funding. But if you call yourself an institute, then it's much easier. And believe it or not, we have been very successful for our academic members when they do applications and they want a partner from Athens, Greece, they can have our institute as a partner. So it's up to you as an option. If you want a partner from Greece, we are very flexible, and of course you become an academic member, but since you paid a very expensive fee, you don't have to pay anything to become an academic member and help us with whatever activities we are doing. So this is an invitation. Of course, we have the application form. Wait until tomorrow night, see if you like what we are doing, at least during tonight, during the Greek night, if you like what we are doing, and you are more than welcome to help us with that. Now, what we are trying to do is try to improve every year, and this is the reason why we are running many conferences, small ones. The institute or the association is organized into different research units. Now we have 37, if I'm not mistaken, and each research unit that belongs to the research division organize an annual event. That's the purpose actually of the research unit, to make an annual meeting, an annual event. And this year we are going to organize more than 50 such annual meetings with more than 2,000 people coming, academics from more than 100 different countries. And these are all on our website, so you are more than welcome to visit and check who is coming and who has presented all over the years. And of course, that's how we grow, because you as an academic member, you can suggest and organize something next year. And either as a panel, and you are invited to do that, as a session, or as a mini symposium. Now, since I said we like to improve every year, starting last year, we are publishing e-journals. And of course, we have the advantage because we have so many papers to choose from. We have an Athens Journal of Sciences, and of course we have 15, as I said, each journal, and we have to select from 2,000 papers that will be presented this year for the next 15 journals. But we do need help. So if you really are good in reviewing papers, please submit your name, and we would be more than happy if you can help us, because we like to make these journals, since we have the choices of the papers, good ones. Now, about the logistics of the conference, you have a piece of information, and you can see what we organized. Tonight we have the Greek night. Of course, I'm going to disappear, going back to my cell, to my office to work, but I'll see you tonight. I'll be more than happy to welcome you during the Greek night. There will be Greek music and dancing, as Professor Poulos will explain in a little while. And of course, we have Wednesday and Thursday. We don't have sessions, but we have the cruise and the Delphi. And please see all the activities and make a note of the time, because believe it or not, we start on time and we finish on time. Thank you very much for being here. I'll give the floor to Professor Poulos, and we will continue from there. Now, about something of the program. It's very quite often here, I should mention that as you can see from the program, you are coming from so many different countries. You're not coming on the same plane. Now, thank God, because if there was a delay, the same plane would be no conference. And the people, of course, they come and they are tired, because they come from different time zones. Now, we're going to make adjustments to the programs throughout the day, because we want to accommodate them. There are some people that they ask to present tomorrow, for example, or to present later today because they miss a plane. So bear with us. There is no other solution to this problem, because there are not so many direct flights to Athens as they are in London, for example. So we have to make sure that we adjust and be flexible to our program. And even starting from the first session, some people could not come for the first session. They won't be able to present this afternoon or tomorrow. So you have to be here to see how the program evolves. And the reason we are doing that, we are very flexible, is because if you don't present, you will not appear in the program. So you will disappear from the program and the actual group, and you're not going to be considered for publication. This is the reason we are so flexible. So we're going to give the opportunity some that came late, missed the first session, as we have some people that they missed the first session, they can present later today or tomorrow. So bear that in mind, and I really apologize for that, but there's no solution to this problem. Because as I said, it's for reasons beyond our control, and we want to make sure that people that they pay the fee, they pay the trip, they can present if they are late. Thank you very much. Professor Poulos, you have the floor.
Thank you, Dr. Nikos. Good morning from me, ladies and gentlemen. I'd also like to welcome you here in this conference. I'm going to first of all start by saying a few words about the institute. Atiner was established in 1995, and its mission has been to act as a forum where academics and researchers from all over the world can come together to this historic cradle of democracy, Athens, in order to exchange ideas on their research, to act with each other, and to discuss future developments in their disciplines. Atiner, as Dr. Nikos has said, is a world association of academics and researchers. It's over 95% of our members are from institutions outside Greece, and our conferences are designed in such a way as to cater mainly for foreign academics. The basic activities of Atiner include the organizing and hosting of international conferences and symposiums such as this one, carrying out of research and the production of various publications. Since 1995, Atiner has organized more than 300 international conferences and other events, and has published close to 200 books. Atiner has also organized numerous roundtable discussions and public speeches on topical issues. And the Institute is now also currently involved in an ambitious project regarding the proposed establishment of an academic village. The aim is to establish a community of research scholars and academics such as you. And the proposed village will include a conference center, living facilities, a as well as facilities for research and recreation. You'll find more information in this file. Now, turning to today's formal activities, you should each have a program by now. Please note, and this is very important, that each presentation is limited to 15 minutes. Chairpersons will keep time and will use the 3 and 1 minute reminder calls. I'd like to ask the chairs to adhere strictly to the time constraints. Please allow for questions and discussion after all the papers have been presented in the session and not after each paper. The chairpersons must also fill out the report forms that they will be receiving. This is important because the final program will be based on the chairperson's reports. Should you need to make use of technical facilities in your presentation, please confirm that everything is in order before the session begins. There will always be someone from the admin staff to help in this regard. Olga, sitting at the back there, will be here all the time, so you can consult her before the session begins. And of course, there will be a coffee break between sessions. Please also consult the social program in your file. The Greek night tonight is to be recommended. Apart from Greek cuisine, there'll be lots of Greek music and dancing, and of course you'll be invited to join in if you like. And then there'll be a urban walk tomorrow. Then follows the cruise to selected islands and the visit to the ancient site of Delphi. A few words on publications. The Institute is involved with various publications. Firstly, there are the abstracts, which are published. We're aware of the fact that some institutes regard abstracts as a formal publication, and because we have this in mind, we do publish these abstracts. They have their own ISBN number and of course be cited. In this way, the paper contents can be disseminated as quickly as possible and can allow for feedback from researchers in the area of study. Of course, if you don't want your abstract to be published, please let us know and we will hold back on those. Secondly, the papers that are presented are placed on the web as part of an online paper series. Once the editing of the papers has been attended to, they'll have their own ISSN number and can of course be cited. The purpose of this publication series is also to firstly disseminate the information in your paper as quickly as possible, and secondly to allow for feedback in case you wish to make amendments before you submit your paper for publication in book. And then with regard to book publications, you'll receive an email soon after the conference asking you for a final draft for publication consideration and any other information that may be relevant. And more papers that are submitted will go through a referee process before they're considered for publication in the book. And then finally, as Dr. Papanikos has already said, we have our own journal series now. Papers are submitted for the journals, go through a double-blind peer review process, which is monitored by the editorial board. And then on the issue of collaboration, we at Atiner would like to collaborate with other institutions, such as the ones that you come from. Academics, researchers, and institutes are invited to collaborate with our institute on research and education projects. If you're not yet a member of the institute, we'd like you to join us and assist with reviewing and editing of papers. And you're also encouraged to collaborate as delegates in future conferences by submitting proposals for special panel discussions on a theme related to your own research. Academics and researchers interested in your theme will then be invited to participate in a special panel discussion, and of course you will act as chairpersons on those panel discussions. And part of our vision is to also organize visiting fellowships, and we hope to introduce this in the future. Well, colleagues, as you can see from the program, we come from different countries, many different countries, and we sincerely hope that we'll make the most of this opportunity to interact with each other, to enjoy the conference, to go back home with fond memories not only of this conference but also of Athens, and that you want to come back to future conferences. Thanks very much, and enjoy the conference. The first session will begin shortly. I think that those of you who are presenting the first session, we just make sure that Olga, I guess, your PowerPoint and any other technical facilities that you require. And as Dr. Papanikos has said, not all presenters might be here for the first session, so please bear with us and we'll try and accommodate you. Thank you very much. Thanks.